It was July the 11th, 1981, and that was a day when there were lots and lots of riots up and down the country in lots of different places. And we'd heard rumours that the National Front or fascists or skinheads were coming to Bradford. In fact, the police had gone around and said that. And they told everybody to stay indoors. Now we took a view that's totally wrong. We're not going to stay indoors. We're going to get out and we're going to organise people and we're going to fight back. During the course of the day, I did ask one of my friends, Talochan, that time, that we should make petrol bombs and we should store them in a safe place. And if need be, we'll use them. And we didn't actually plan much more than that. We just thought about that because at that time petrol bombs were quite being used in Southall. The pub had just been burnt down. We didn't have very much else. And we really did believe that if the skinheads came, it would be a pretty nasty battle and we were not going to let them get through. But that day in the city centre, lots and lots of youth gathered.
The important thing for me really was that, here was a group of people that wanted to defend the city against any sort of threat of extreme right-wing groups coming into the city. And they had prepared some petrol bombs, which they didn't use. Nothing really happened in Bradford. And I believe that self-defence is no offence.
The reason I became involved in the Bradford 12 case was because I knew two of the defendants in it before from a legal case that we'd worked in together. That was Tariq and Talochan Gataora. Both Tariq Ali and Talochan had been instrumental in the case of Anwar Ditta's children, and then all of a sudden they end up as defendants charged with conspiracy offences, very, very serious conspiracy to make explosive substances to endanger life, etc., which would have carried life imprisonment if they'd been convicted.
The important thing for me was that the support was there for the Bradford 12.
I remember going to one very, very early meeting when all the defendants, including Tariq and Talochan, were locked up in Armley Prison. And there were Sikhs in their 70s and 80s and elderly Muslim parents, that a whole range of support saying, in a sense, these are our children, support them, defend them.
The fact that there was a campaign affected the way that prisoners related to us, affected the way that prison officers related to us.
What we used to do is have rotas so that people could attend and to ensure that there was a certain number of people that were attending. It wasn't always that there was masses of people there, but the important thing was keeping the campaign going and ensuring that there were people there at some point during those sort of during the sort of hearings at the time.
I think we were very proud. I mean, I think we were worried because nobody wants to be in prison. But at the same time, when we went into courtroom, every time we came up, every 7 days in front of the magistrates' court, now we knew that there were hundreds of people who wanted to know what was going on. The courtrooms were full. The police had to organise something. And when we came in, they knew that political prisoners were coming and not criminals were coming. So we felt really good. We felt very, very strong that there's nothing they could do to us now. They charged us. They couldn't put us down. The worst they could do is lock us up. And we had lots and lots of people shouting and screaming in our defence. And I think it's when the trial started when it really made the impact, certainly, on all of us. You could hear it inside the courtroom. In fact, the judge was ordering people to stop shouting outside. And it was wonderful walking through lots of people.
The police and the prosecution believed until the very beginning of the case that the defence was going to be based on denial of any involvement in any activity to do with the making of petrol bombs.
we argued in a sense that we did make them. We would have used them.
The police and the prosecution were absolutely flabbergasted, and that element of surprise, I think, was tremendously important, because the defendants then just took the courtroom by storm, really, and the jury listened very, very, very carefully.
The jury felt proud, proud, as we found out at the end, that they were very proud of being involved in the campaign, because they was wearing Free Bradford 12 t-shirts under their clothes,